It's your man Jay Gray's Report, and welcome to the College Football Weekly Preview, Week 2, presented by your good neighbor State Farm agent Ravi R. Murray, located 3955 Eagle Creek Parkway, Indianapolis, or hit your boy up at 317-297-3804 so you can holler at your boy. Now, y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Previewing the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. Now, we're going to start off with the big ball game. Huge ball game up in Ohio. I know you're thinking about something else, but I'm talking about the Howard University Bison playing the Kent State boys. Now, check this out. I call this the huge ball game because everybody's talking about Howard pulling the biggest upset in college football history, statistically anyway, because they was a 45-point underdog last week when they went out to Vegas, caught them boys out there sleeping at UNLV and won the ball game 43-40. Old Cam Newton, younger brother Kalen out there, hey, he probably walking around on the yard today. He ain't even walking on the yard. They riding him around in a wheelchair. Matter of fact, they got him hoisted up in the air, bro. He ain't walked, his feet ain't touched the ground all week. Now, here's the deal. I'm picking Kent State to beat the brakes off of Howard this weekend simply because they won the biggest bowl. They won the Super Bowl already, bro. When you get a team like that, go out and win a ball game that nobody in the world thought they were going to win. Think about this. They got $600,000 for going out there. Then they win the ball game. So now all of a sudden, you dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. Boys ain't going to class all week. They kicking it. They partied all until about Tuesday. Then, now they showing up in meeting rooms, not paying attention. The dude that was dating 6s and 5s last week, all of a sudden got a 10 on his arm. He dating a 10 this week. He got Beyonce on his arm right now. He ain't paying attention to nothing. All of a sudden, it's Thursday. Hey, man, we got a game on Saturday. Dunn ain't been to practice all week. So I'm picking Kent State to beat the brakes off of Howard at Kent State because Kent State got blasted last week. They had to go down and play Clemson, the defending national champs, on the road, got beat 53-3. So they upset. They concentrating all week on assignments, what they supposed to do. These dudes out at Howard kicking it all week because they the biggest thing since sliced bread out there right now. So they gonna go out there, get the doors blown off of them. We ain't gonna hear nothing else about Howard for the rest of the year until homecoming. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, we got number 13, Auburn, going out to Death Valley, the real Death Valley. The reason I call it the real Death Valley is because we're talking Clemson. Clemson and LSU claim Death Valley. I got to give Death Valley to Clemson because they won a national championship last year. So as long as the national championship is sitting in Clemson, then I give them the real Death Valley, at least for the time being. Now, so you got number 3, Clemson. It's going to show up. Now, Clemson won this ball game last year, 1913. Every year, beginning of the season, the Dove college football writers, Dove media, always ranking Auburn higher than they should be. They got them ranked at 13. That means they shouldn't even be in the top 25. So what's going to have to happen is they're going to get the doors blown off of them this weekend at the real Death Valley, and we won't hear about it. It won't be a close one. Like, you think about it. In the last 5 times they played in the last 10 years, all of the games been decided on a touchdown or less. 2 of them going to overtime. Well, this was not going to overtime, and it's going to be a lot more than 7 points because Clemson's still trying to prove that they the real deal, which they are the real deal. They're probably going to win the ACC because Florida State, DeAndre Francois, the ghetto Frenchman, is out for the season. So that clears the way for them to do what they do. Obviously, you got Louisville, but Louisville, in my opinion, is not that great. They got one ball player. You can't name another cat on the team. So let's stop it with the Louisville chatter. They should have beat the brakes off of Purdue last week, and they fumbled the ball every time they got in the red zone. Stop talking. I know that my man Lamar Jackson going to put up crazy numbers again, but we're not worried about Louisville in the ACC conversation. We talking about Clemson. So we got Clemson to win this ball game. My man Cameron Petway is going to be back for Auburn this week because the Dun got suspended for the first ball game. So now he's back, but it ain't going to make a difference. Clemson wins this ball game. Now, let's move on to the next ball game. We got number 14, Stanford. Goes out to the Coliseum to play number 6, USC. Now, here's the deal. Stanford is coming off a recent blowout of Rice. They had to go all the way out to Australia to beat the brakes off of Rice. Hey, they could have played them down the street at Big Mama house and it wouldn't have made a difference. They spent all that doggone money sending the boy to Australia to play when nobody in Australia cares anything about either one of these schools. So why we even go out there? So now, Stanford, David Shaw got these boys rolling. One thing I like about Stanford is every year they consistent and they consistent early. They ready to play early. Problem I got with USC. USC playing at the crib. And USC ended up going to the Rose Bowl last year, but they lost to these boys. They've lost to them 3 years in a row. Stanford is looking to win 4 in a row against these boys. But USC always struggles out the gate at the beginning of the season. So this is a tough place for this ball game to be played. Second ball game of the season. They was dull last week. If you saw them, they played Western Michigan. They struggled with Western Michigan for the first half. They end up blowing the doors off of them 49-31. But they struggled in the first half with these boys. Western Michigan. So now you got a boy coming in that this probably gonna be a rematch or be the Pac-12 championship game because USC is going to turn it around, but they struggle out the gate. So I'm going with David Shaw and company to win this ball game, move to the next level. Now, let's move on to the big ball game up in South Bend, Indiana. Now, we got number 15, Georgia Bulldogs. Remember, I used to talk about Georgia bad. I used to say, Georgia is Mark Richt's Georgia. You can't depend on them, but now they got Kirby Smart and take over the place. So let's see what they can do. They playing number 24, Notre Dame. Now, Brian Kelly coming up in the joint with his pants on fire. Hey, when he walk out on the field, he's smoking. He's smoking from the pockets. Hey, but he came in and put in work last week against Temple. They beat Temple 49-16, put up crazy numbers, put up 606 yards of total offense. Brandon Wimbush went to work 17 of 30, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he ran for another 106 yards. Dexter Williams, 124 yards on the ground. Josh Adams, 161 yards on the ground. Hey, they put in work, looked like a real team last week. As long as they keep the leprechaun locked up in the field house, they're going to be all right, because that done got problems. Remember last year, he got a gun charge and all that foolishness, hanging out, smoking weed with the duns in the back seat of the car. Keep him locked up, they'll be good. But I think they'll get out of this ball game for one reason. Georgia is showing up to play Notre Dame for only the second time in school history. First time they played, they both met in the Sugar Bowl, 1981, when Herschel Walker went to work and they won the national championship. Well, Herschel Walker is not there this time, Playboy. And you got a freshman, Jake Fromm, got to start. He green, wet behind the ears. He's starting at Notre Dame Stadium, one of the most hallowed places in America. His first time out because Jacob Eason got hurt last week. He's down. So you got to put the 5-star freshman on the field. Will the Duns show up? I doubt it, because Georgia is still Mark Richt's Georgia, even though he's not there anymore. So, hey, let's move on to the next ball game. Let's go to the big ball game down in Columbus, Ohio. We got number 5, Oklahoma. Shows up to play number 2, Ohio State. Now, you remember, Last year, Ohio State came to Norman, to a place that Oklahoma never loses or rarely loses. Beat the doors off OU 45-24. Embarrassed them on national TV, bruh. Now, we also saw last week, Ohio State went to Bloomington. Looked terrible in the first half. Came back and won the ball game. Put in work last week. Beat IU 49-21. The thing that's suspect about Ohio State right now is their defensive secondary was trash last week. I don't know if boys was just under the weather. They got a hold of some bad food or what. But IU went to work on them. Passing game went to work on them. Now you got to show up and play Baker Mayfield and company. Baker Mayfield and company put up 56 points last week against UTEP. Did everything they were supposed to do. And they haven't lost a ball game since they lost to Ohio State last year. So they got the longest winning streak in the country at 11 ball games. They showing up on the road at Ohio Stadium and still gonna get beat. Ohio State's not losing this ball game at the crib. I know everything inside of me saying that those defensive secondary for Ohio State was dull. And Baker Mayfield going to take full advantage of them. But I just believe that Ohio State's smart enough to know if I keep that done on the sideline, he can't hurt me. And the thing that Ohio State has going for them, they got the true freshman, J.K. Dobbins, that went to work on Indiana last week. He had 181 yards. And Mike Weber is back. He was out last week with a hamstring injury. So they got a 1-2 punch. They going to beat him up on the ground, keep Baker Mayfield on the sideline. Ohio State comes out of this ball game with a win, and Jay Graves Report told you. Hey, it's your man Jay Graves Report from the JGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JGravesReport so you can holler at your boy. And also remember that this segment is presented by your good neighbor State Farm agent Ravi R. Murray, located 3955 Eagle Creek Parkway, Indianapolis, or hit your boy up at 317-297-3804 so you can holler at your boy.